Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the High School Star League. My name is Seamus Seamus Anderson, and we are going to go ahead and be watching a game between Cast and Cows as part of the High School Hearthstone show matches. And actually, I'm in the game right now, but just to make sure, it seems like we are underway. Okay, so immediately we see Paladin versus Mage, and if I'm not mistaken, this is Murloc Paladin from Cast, which is, for anyone who doesn't know, I am a ridiculous Murloc fan. I don't know why, but I've actually never played Warcraft. I just played my first Hearthstone game. I was like, these little frog things are awesome. So I really love to see this Murloc deck, and he's actually going to play patiently with the Murlocs, make sure that, to play that mini bot, make sure, that any sort of aggression or removal from the mage is wasted on that instead. That's pretty smart tactic. But that unstable portal from last turn actually is going to give Cows the keeper, and with the flame cannon, that's going to be pretty bad all of a sudden for Cast. Going to play his first two Morlocks. And just going to try and get as aggressive as he possibly can, looking to do damage to the face. And he's up against a sort of tempo mage is what I'm assuming Cows is rocking here. So that's gonna be punished pretty heavily, actually. Get the camera on there as well. The Avenge will boost the Tidecaller up to 5-3, but the... oh man, not really unlucky. The Flame Walker there doing 2 damage to the Tidecaller. And then the Keeper gonna be able to take that down. Oh, really interesting to see, actually. We have Sneeds up in Cows' hand. I'm not sure if he mulliganed for that or if he kept that, but that's pretty interesting card. Wow. A lot of late game in Cows' hand, actually. This is a pretty interesting mage deck so far. Either way, Cast, the way Murlocs work, and even Murloc Paladin, is they have to be as aggressive as possible, play as many minions as possible. However, when you're up against a mage, one of the best classes as far as removal is concerned, you're going to have a very, very hard time putting any sort of pressure on the board, and the longer this game goes on, the harder it is for the Murloc player to end up winning. He has Divine Favor in his hand, however, his hand is actually larger than Cows at the moment. So obviously, since you play so many Murlocs early, the point is that you dump your hand out, similar to certain other Paladin decks. Play all your aggressive cards, your low meta drops, and then Divine Favor to draw. But he's had a pretty poor curve, to be honest, and he's thinking whether or not Cold Light Seer, or you want to play the War Leader, or does he even want to go for the Coghammer and potentially clear out some of this board? That's what I would do, honestly. He's going to have that Divine Shield. He's going to be able to clear 2 minions. Yep, definitely the best 2 to choose, although now he's gonna lose his Murloc to Blast Mage, probably. This should definitely hit. Yep, there we go. And he's still definitely in a tricky position. Not really sure how he's gonna get out of this one, but Argent Protector, that's not really something that is gonna do him much good. He's gonna play the War Leader and gonna use his Cold Light to give it some HP. There's actually not immediate answer in hand, but of course that goblin is still alive, which means I'm pretty sure we're just going to see Cows go for the attack into the 3-5. He's not really going to be worried about the Seer because it's already used its battle cry. His purpose is done, and on turn 7, staring down Dr. Boom, Cast is just not drawing into any sort of options. And draw a couple more by either using the Oracle or Divine Favor. Divine Favor would give him more cards. I think that's what he's going to do, is play the Protector, Divine Favor. Yep, so he draws 4 cards, but the question is, does his deck have the answers he needs in this situation? And I'm not sure it does. You guys can see nothing really in Cast's hand. No BGH or anything like that to take care of the Dr. Boom. Attacks into a Boombot and kills the Protector. Cast has not been able to sort of find any early advantage this game, and Cast has just gotten to the point where it's nearly impossible for Cast to come back. And honestly, perhaps if this were like Warlock Murloc, A deck that's very aggressive and can do a lot of damage in a turn. Maybe Cass could have come back. But the thing with Paladin Murloc is that you want to play cards like your Murloc Knight and just start amassing minions on the board, but he hasn't been able to the entire game. He draws another Murloc Knight, so he might decide to go for it. Murkai might be a good Murloc to get here because he could play the Tide Hunter and go for kill. Oh, Tide Caller, not really gonna do much. That's not quite lethal yet. 12 damage, draws the Effigy. He could maybe get the Rag hit, but there's 7 potential. Oh, let's see. Nope. Still off. At this point, Cows could go for face and threaten lethal next turn, but he's obviously going to make the very, very smart decision and just take his time, clear out the board, make sure nothing sneaky comes out of Cast's next turn. He gets an attack with the boom anyway. Cast on his last legs, looking for an out. Can he find it? Ooh, he can draw another card here. Could kill the Sneed as well.
Well played.
Right, he's got to kill the Sneed first. Come on, man. Ah, no, he's just gonna Oracle. This is probably gonna be it.
Job's done.
I don't even know if there's any sort of Doomsayer-esque minion. Oh, goodness. Oh, boy. That is not what he wanted that Sneed to play. Oh, boy. He's not even gonna let the Aviana play it. Cows takes that. Game 1 with his mage deck against Cast's Murloc Paladin in this best of 5 show match for the High School Star League. If you're just joining us again, my name is Seamus Seamus Anderson, casting between Cows and Cast. We just saw Cows take number 1. These are just show matches, so nothing here other than pride and glory, but obviously these players still want to sort of impress other people who might be watching this. Anyway, if you're unfamiliar with the Conquest format, you pick 3 heroes and then you have to win with each class. So if you win with a class, you can no longer play with that hero. And we'll see Cows, he can't play with that mage deck anymore, and Cast still needs to win with the Paladin later on. Interesting to see that Cast actually decided to switch and play his Shaman deck instead, because generally, I guess he might have been predicting a counter from Cows to counter that Paladin that he already knows Cast could potentially use. Either way, this definitely looks to be a Totem Shaman deck, and not the worst hand actually for Cast. He's gonna play his totems, but Cows definitely has an answer if he decides to Deadly Poison and attack that totem. This seems to be Miracle Rogue, so might be the right play instead of leaving these totems alive, but he's actually gonna let it stay up. Deadly Poison now? No, he's waiting for a potential combo is what I'm thinking. That was another really good draw for Cass. His board presence is... actually, he could clear the Totem Golem. The backstab, Deadly Poison attack. Does he want to waste his Deadly Poison is the question. He could also Deadly Poison attack into Golem Blade Flurry, but obviously when you're playing Miracle Rogue, it's a deck that makes a huge sort of combo turn just by using that Blade Flurry. So it looks like he's thinking about it. He has a lot of options, and Rogue is definitely one of those classes that's very, very high skill cap, and you need to be very comfortable with the class to be successful. It does look like he's not going to let this Totem Golem stick around. He's going to go kill it, and a Whirling Zap-O-Matic. Oh boy. Cast, he wants to keep this Zap-O-Matic alive so that he needs to bait out this weapon attack from Cows. Or he could summon a Taunt Totem. Still, probably going to be an Azure Drake play, yep. Cows just playing his first minion of the game so far. Draws into an Eviscerate. Nice bit of damage there with the spell damage from Azure Drake. However, the question is now for Cows, does he attack into one of these totems? The issue is when you're playing against Shaman Totem, each totem has the potential to be buffed. You can already see the Flame Tongue Totem in Cast's hand, and he's actually going to keep his weapon. Although this Lightning Bolt will pick up a kill. It's going to be a 6/6 beast, or minion I should say, not a beast. But it is a beast just because of how strong she is. I was in a tricky position now. He could... Probably doesn't want to sap here. However, the issue is that he's not going to be able to combo unless he plays prep. So he actually does go for this interesting decision, and then combo into the SI agent to kill one of the totems, and then probably attack to clear. That way in the next turn, obviously, the Draenei Totem Carver is going to be weaker if he decides to play it. Instead, cast. Or he could still play both the Rock Biter as well as the Totem Carrier, but I'm not sure if that's a great play. Instead, he's going to go with the Destroyer, and average, I guess. 2 isn't particularly impressive, but that's still a 5/6 minion. Dr. Boom being played from Cows. The question is... Sorry, he will play the Boom. The issue with Cows' early hand was that he didn't have much card draw. And that's a really big thing in this deck, is obviously the Prep Sprint combo is a great way for rogues to get 4 cards in their hand and keep building up towards that sort of potential lethal combo that Oil Rogue is capable of. He's able to play his Boom, but that might get killed by this Crackle. Let's see what it's going to be. Oh my goodness, Cast. With the bad manners as well. That's Hearthstone. Feeling comfortable to go to face with the Destroyer. I feel like maybe he could have put the Totem in between the Destroyer and the Healing Totem. But maybe he just decided that he wanted both totems to be able to attack. Well, though, the Boombot's going to go for face, and if that's the case, then we'll definitely see a Blade Flurry. Considering Cows had 2 early Blade Flurries, he doesn't need to keep them. And actually, this Boombot's kind of an issue. It's going to be doing quite a bit of damage if it's unanswered. Cass is gonna play Ancestral Knowledge after playing the Loatheb. So for anyone who plays Hearthstone and who's watching this, for any card game really, you always want to draw before you make a play, because that way you could sort of see what cards you have. Potentially you have it out, you know? Whoa. 8 mana Phantom Knives, and the Boombot will pick up a kill. 4 damage to Cast's face. That's a huge amount of damage. Yeah, but back to what I was saying before. It's really important that the play you have before you draw might not always be the optimal play. So if you draw and get that extra card or 2, you can sort of have a better idea of what you're capable of doing. In this situation, might have not mattered and might never matter. But you will, one day, you're going to regret tapping after playing your minion instead of playing your minion first. Anyway, after step off the podium now and get back to the game. Cast has decent amount of damage with a Flame Tongue Whirling Zap-O-Matic. So Cows is wondering whether or not it's worth eviscerating that. I'm gonna play the smart decision, the safe decision for sure. Kills the Whirling Zap-O-Matic and goes for face. 15 HP left. Got the oil and he's got the Blade Flurry. What he's really looking for now is some way to end the game. And Cast getting that Stone Claws is gonna have a taunt that might delay him. Another prep, that's not gonna help Cows. He needs minions here. He could potentially... this is tough. Question is, yeah, does he use his Assassin's Blade to get rid of all the minions? He could oil and then use his other Blade Fury. That would have done... That would have put him actually one away from lethal. He used oil. No. Yeah, that would have been one away from lethal. He would have had the spell damage, and he could have been able to kill the boom. It's actually a pretty big misplay. I think he's going to play the oil anyway. The question is, why didn't he play it before? And then he's going to pass. Wait a second. Oh, goodness. Can't just leave so many minions on the field. Cows, what are you doing? Oh, Lord. That's a lot of damage.
Mistakes were made.
Did you bring some
Beskar, Totemic. Now this board is 100% in control of Cows. Excuse me, of Cast. Cows need sprint. Nope, that's not gonna do it. So that's actually gonna be game. Cows would have lost anyway because Cast rolled the Haunt Totem. Maybe. The thing is, if Cows had made the Blade Flurry play before, off of the increased spell damage from Azure Drake, then all of these minions would be dead and the game would be in a totally different situation since Cast would still only have 1 HP. I'm gonna play the Blade Flurry now, but obviously the boom will not go down and Cast will take it to a third game. Obviously this is a best of 5, so what I'm trying to say is 1-1 so far in this series. Going blow for blow, and that's gonna be the Shaman Totem deck actually from Cast, taking him all the way. He's not gonna be able to play it anymore though, so we know that he has Murloc Paladin and one other deck. Alright, so Murloc Paladin versus Oil Rogue. I was about to say Miracle. Keeping that Tide Collar, probably a good decision. Yep, as well as the mini bot. Interesting actually that Cass is running Zombie Chow in this deck. I guess that's a bit more of a control option so that he can play this deck a little bit more mid-rangey instead of just going complete face. Backstab, yep. Definitely the smart decision just to make sure that there's no way that that Murloc can get really strong. And once again, he draws a backstab, so if you'd like to clear it, you could attack and backstab, but he's actually played pretty cautiously, you know, passive with his weapon. The Divine Favor is going to give Cast 3 draws because, of course, Cows has the coin in his hand. And Cows, he's got to do something now. Coining out a Shredder would be pretty strong as far as turns go. He could also backstab SI Agent, kill Cast's minion, have minion presence on the board. It's really important that you have, even if you're playing Oil Rogue, that you just have minions on the board to be able to potentially kill those Murlocs, because you're not going to want to let the Murloc stay alive for a turn, and then a War Leader come down and all of a sudden you're taking like a bajillion damage to your face. He decides he's going to actually... Interesting. Hold on. Okay. Keeps the SI Agent and just backstabs the mini-bot. That's the turn I expected last turn, but oh boy, look at all these Murlocs. Tide Caller and Blue Gold Warrior is going to be the... I don't know which would be considered the more greedy play, but it looks like that's what he's going to do. The issue is you've always got to be afraid of the clear. Cows does have his Blade Flurry, so he is going to be able to clear it if he so chooses, but then again, if he does clear this out, he's got to be afraid of the other Murlocs in Cast's hand, so he's actually going to just use his weapon to start whittling down those Murlocs, although here we go. Murloc War Leader is such an efficient card for Cast. He's in really, really good position now. Gonna make sure just to take out that Shredder. Oh. Valiant's kind of a strong minion. Does he actually... I would have killed it. I think I would have killed the Undercity Valiant. He's got another War Leader though. But this War Leader is definitely going to die. Blade Flurry coming out. And yep, that's one Blade Flurry though that Cows no longer has for the combo. So Cast, if he can put some more minions on the board, he might be able to come back. But this is kind of a hard board to get control back from. Ooh, interesting. Actually forgot what the Murloc's called. Tiltfin. So it'll let him draw if the knight dies. And yeah, that was... Okay. Definitely should kill the Tiltfin first. There we go. So no misplays from Cows. Plays the turn in the right order. Now Tide Caller into Tide Hunter into... I feel like into Grimscale, or excuse me, Cold Light is definitely the right choice. To draw anything good? Not really, honestly. And he's going to play the other War Leader instead of playing any of his other Murlocs. That means that War Leader is definitely going to go down to this 3/1 agent. Not sure about Cast sort of just throwing out his Murlocs. Not really sure that playing your War Leader is the right decision when you have a couple of other ones that you can use for fodder instead. So whenever you're up against an aggro deck, what cancels that out very well? Very big taunt, and Sludge Belcher is probably the most common taunt we've seen in the game at the moment. And now how does Cass deal with this? No draw options. Can't deal with it this turn, but he might just have to use the Divine Shield and attack it anyway. This gives Cows so much control. He can just do whatever he wants the next turn. He can heal if he's really afraid. He can play the boom. Looks like Cass, he's just gonna put down his entire hand. Try to Zerg Cows down in the next turn. Cows is thinking about the boom, but if he did play boom, he might take a lot of damage. Actually, would be taking quite a bit of damage next turn. That being said, that the moment those Chows die, he's going to be able to heal up, and he also has a heal bot in his hand, so I don't even know if it's actually that bad of a decision just to play the boom and go for it. Though looks like he's going to play the Deadly Poison and the heal bot instead. Oh, maybe he's not going to play the heal bot. But yeah, definitely killing these two zombie Chows is good, because not only does he take down 4 damage, he also gets 10 health back. Or I guess he took 2 damage now, so he gets 8 health. No! He's thinking about killing the Murloc. Interesting. Does end up playing the antique heal bot, so he's at 27, which is a pretty high amount of health. And Cass draws Light's Justice, which is not at all going to help him. He is going to be able to clear the Belcher. And he is going to get a little bit of damage onto face. As all the cool high schoolers know, the face is the place. Nope, he's actually going to trade into the heal bot. Not sure if I agree with that. Especially because now Cows... Basically, Cows just needs to eliminate this board and he wins. Ooh, prep sprint. If he gets a Blade Flurry, it might as well be over. Nope, draws another sprint though. Wow, he actually doesn't have a great turn now. He has to play the Teacher or the Assassin's Blade. How much damage is that? He's gonna take 7 damage next turn, 9 damage next turn. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, he actually doesn't play the bluegill. So instead of foregoing the 2 extra damage, Cass decides to keep the bluegill in hand, because that way he could potentially burst Cows if he doesn't expect it and end the game. Cows is gonna play his Violet Teacher and then an Oil as well, so that's gonna be a pretty damn strong Assassin's Blade. But what are you gonna do now? Go for face or go for minions? The amount of minions that are on Cast's board is still an issue, so going for the Zombie Chow and gaining a little bit of HP back would be a pretty safe play, but none of these guys are looking to play safe today. They're just looking to go absolutely all in and slam the face. Good decision there to trade with the 4-1 just to make sure that he's not in range of lethal next turn. And all of a sudden, Cows is down to 7 HP. There is a 6-3 weapon in Cows' hand, and he just drew an Eviscerate. Is that actually lethal? That is gonna be lethal, yeah. Oil into Eviscerate is definitely gonna seal a deal. So Cows' Oil Rogue, I keep saying Miracle, excuse me. Cows' Oil Rogue will let him take this lead, unless he doesn't see it. Okay, you play Oil, you get a 9-3 weapon, and then you can play Eviscerate. It doesn't even matter what you, whether or not your Oil buffs your Violet Teacher. Oh boy, I don't think Cows actually notices it. Okay, maybe? Come on, he's got to notice it. Alright, there we go. Yep.
I am ready to learn.
So Cast. His Murloc deck not really working out for him. And Cows takes it with Oil Rogue. As we're getting into our 3rd game, I would like to remind you, everyone, take a look at our sponsors. Of course, a great thanks to Twitch, Rockhat, MSI, Newegg, Blizzard, and Jinx, obviously, for sponsoring the High School Star League and being really, really supportive. Obviously, we're watching this on Twitch. Jinx is a fantastic apparel provider. Tespa is a fantastic organization for collegiate esports and also supporting us as well. And yeah, all of these organizations have been so instrumental in helping the High School Star League and high school level esports, so just wanted to give them a big shout out. Anyway, back to game number 3. Cast versus Cows. Cast is actually running... Oh, this isn't Oil Rogue, this is Pirate Rogue, which does occasionally have a couple of oil components. He could play South Sea Deckhand, but I don't think he wants to waste that. Pirate Rogue is definitely something we've seen on the ladder quite a bit, actually. It's making waves in Legend. Oh no, he's going to play the Deckhand. Interesting. Because Pirate Rogue, there's so many pirates now that it's actually not that bad of a tribe. And Rogue also has the ability to burst down with the South Sea Deckhand pretty quickly, and weapons is something that all these pirate minions really take advantage of. As you can see, that Dread Corsair going to come down. So it's a fairly strong deck and has a lot of good matchups. But it looks like he's up against sort of mid-range Paladin. I'm not actually sure about this particular matchup, because Paladin is not a deck I have very much experience with playing against or as. Well, other than Secret Paladin, of course. But he played that Murloc Knight hoping that it would stay alive, but a backstab into SI Agent will take it down. Now Cows losing his Murloc Knight isn't the end of the world, but it's not something he'd like to happen. Belcher comes down and Lotheb picked up, so Cast could play that on curve, or he could also play the Assassin's Blade. And then he could kill the Belcher if he wanted to, but then there'd still be the little sludge. Although, if he plays the Lotheb this turn, his 3/3 is definitely going to die. Interesting, so he does go ahead with a Lotheb play, a Pilot Shredder picked up. Cows probably feels comfortable just playing to Justicar this turn. There we go. To make his hero power even better, summoning 2 1/1s. A Blade Flurry picked up for cast. Bloodsail Raider is a very, very strong card in this deck. However, only if she can be played early, where she's not gonna die the very next turn she's played. And even then, using only the one attack weapon from the hero power Rogue has isn't really the strongest minion. Guys, with the boom in hand, gonna play that turn 7. There's almost no situation if you have Dr. Boom in hand in which you wouldn't play it on turn 7 if you have it. It's very, very rare. Boom is just such a great card. Now the pressure's on for cast. He could clear Boom by playing the oil, attacking with his weapon into the sludge, attacking with the Raider into Boom, and then using a Blade Flurry. That is the play I would recommend. And then you gotta cross your fingers and hope you draw into a sprint, because otherwise you're out of minions, and Cows still has a couple of options. We'll have to see if it's what he decides to do. If I'm not mistaken, actually, Cows had a similar situation last game that he didn't decide to do. But Cast is going to go ahead. Okay. Lucky for Cast, this Raider didn't die. But I'm not sure I agree with leaving the 7/3 Boom alive. Yeah, the Peacekeeper and this Belcher just... It's going to be so hard for Cass to get rid of this without using Eviscerate. If he does use Eviscerate, though, he's got to get rid of it. He has to. Still. He could Eviscerate Blade Flurry now. Then he's losing 4 durability on his weapon, though, and that's not really efficient. But he's actually gonna Eviscerate the Boom. Lay on Hands for Cows is probably the best option, although he could just play some minions and try getting more board presence down. If that's the case, though, I feel like it'd be wiser to play around the potential Blade Flurry.
Reporting for duty.
And playing the Shredder actually isn't really... I mean, it's not too bad, because obviously Blade Flurry, if it does kill it, is just gonna have another minion. Oh, great. Great card for Cast right now. Still, using 7 men on this turn actually would be lethal in the next turn. We got 4, we got... that would be 12, 16... No! That wouldn't be. I'm bad at math. That'd be 2 off of lethal if he went for the sprint this turn. And Paladin decks aren't particularly known for having much burst. Except for maybe Consecration, but it's probably what he's afraid of, so Blade Flurry played now will clear board. Don't forget the hero power. Alright, a 3/2 for Cows is annoying, but he got rid of Cows' board for the most part. However, what he doesn't know is that there's a Lay on Hands. Cows just threw into a muster for battle. And Cast needs to survive this sprint turn, because he's only going to have 3 mana left. Gonna look to draw into a backstab or something similar, so that way he can kill Cows' minion.
Reporting for duty.
Whoa. That is a card. That is a card I have not seen in ever, really. I don't think there's ever been a time when I've seen it used, but in Pirate Rogue, no less. I'm pretty sure that's just a gnome or dwarf. It's not a pirate. Yeah. Still, Very effective. Dark Iron Skulker will clear the board for cast. I was finally deciding to use out Lay on Hands and plays this shield bot down as well. True Silver. Is he gonna go for face here? Oh, he is. Not really afraid of anything. Doesn't think the minion is worth killing. He's not wrong. There is a Consecration as well as a mini bot. This might not even actually be... Okay, I'm not sure if this is Pirate Rogue or not at this point. Alright, well, there's so many Pirate cards. It's gotta be, right? Do you run Dark Iron and Shady Dealers, though, in that deck? I'm not entirely sure. It's a very creative deck. That's absolutely for certain. Cast has a couple of options to clear this mini bot, but he's still going to be taking 3 damage next turn from Consecration and that Muster for Battle. If Cows draws into any more damage... Oh, no, that's going to be the game. Cows taking it over Cast 3-1 in this show match series. So that's gonna wrap it up for us today. Just had one quick best of 5 for you, and Cows taking it 3-1 in pretty handy fashion. This is my first time really casting for the High School Star League Hearthstone, and I'm really impressed by these high schoolers. They play a lot of really interesting decks. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but every time I see them, they're really entertaining. Either way, guys, like I said, that's going to wrap it up for Hearthstone tonight. As always, a thank you to anyone who watched. Shout-outs to our sponsors. Twitch for providing, obviously, the platform that you guys have watched this stream on. Newegg for all their peripherals, as well as Rocket and MSI. Blizzard Entertainment for making Hearthstone, which is a pretty fun game. And their support of the High School Star League. And, of course, Jinx for all their gamer apparel. I am Seamoose. You can catch me on Twitter at Seamoose1 if you want to talk to me about this game. If you want to talk to me about League of Legends, because I cast that as well for the High School Star League. But anyway, you guys have been watching the High School Star League Hearthstone stream between Cast and Cows. Just a show match, nothing too crazy. But don't go anywhere, because in just a short while, if I'm not mistaken, 2 hours? Not actually entirely sure. Piscator and... I forgot his name. Jumpman will be providing League of Legends streaming for you, and there are going to be some pretty crazy games going on tonight, so don't stay far away. How am I going to get this outro? Don't stay gone for too long. The High School Star League